If you're diving into Arc Raiders for the first time, especially on console, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. Extraction shooters can be a whole new world if you're used to more traditional shooters. And yeah, some of the options out there like DMZ haven't exactly prepped us for this kind of gameplay. But don't worry, I've got you covered. Today we're breaking down the best skills to level first in Arc Raiders, so you'll get a head start without wasting time on things that won't actually help you survive your first few rounds. We're talking about the skills that actually make a difference every single match. These are the ones that will keep you alive longer, help you fight smarter, and make that jump into the extraction shooter genre way less painful. By focusing on these early, you'll start to feel like a pro much faster. And trust me, the game just clicks when you're stacking the right abilities from the get-go. I'm quickly
Very
moving
small
on
portion
to
of
the
the
video.
audience
Before we
is subscribed
start,
to the
if you
channel.
enjoy these types of list
Please
videos,
don't forget to subscribe if you
the
like these
video
types
and
of videos.
subscribe. Enjoy watching.
Thanks.
If you are spending any time in Arc Raiders, you know that looting is basically your life. Early on, it is a big part of how you get geared up, and later on, it continues to be a huge factor in keeping you competitive. The thing is, looting can sometimes feel a little slow, especially when you are in the middle of a heated match. That is where the looter's instinct skill comes in. It increases the speed at which loot in a container is revealed, which might sound like a small thing at first, but trust me, it adds up over time. Think about it like this. Every second you save while opening crates or containers is a second you could spend running around, finding better gear, or even avoiding a nasty ambush. Over the course of a whole round, those saved seconds start to feel like a serious advantage. You will notice yourself getting through loot piles faster, which means more time to plan your next move or secure that high value loot before anyone else gets to it. So if you are wondering which skills you should level up first in Arc Raiders, Looter's Instincts is definitely one to prioritize. It is simple, effective, and it directly impacts how efficiently you can gather resources throughout the game. Even though it does not make you stronger in combat directly, it improves your overall performance, and in a game like this, efficiency often equals survival. Level it early, and you will thank yourself when you are sprinting from container to container without missing a beat. One thing you will quickly realize in Arc Raiders is that understanding all the resources you need to craft important items takes some time. Early runs might leave you scrambling, trying to remember what goes into what, and that can be frustrating. That is why the in-round crafting skill is such a game changer. It allows you to craft while topside, which means you do not have to wait until the end of a round to make crucial gear or consumables. Sometimes, you will burn through the resources in your backpack faster than you expect. Maybe you had to heal multiple times or craft some emergency items on the way up, and suddenly you are low on the materials you really need. Being able to craft while topside gives you a second chance to replenish some of those resources before it is too late. It is like having a safety net in the middle of a chaotic run. If you are thinking about which skills to level first in Arc Raiders, in-round crafting is one that can save your run. It does not make you stronger in combat directly, but it keeps you from wiping and losing all your hard-earned loot. Mastering this skill early means you will spend less time panicking about resources and more time enjoying the game, crafting exactly what you need when you need it. Looting is going to be a huge part of your life in Arc Raiders, and chances are you are not the only raider on the map. Other players will be moving around, scavenging, and looking for opportunities to ambush anyone who is distracted. One of the easiest ways for another raider to catch you off guard is by listening for your looting. If they hear you rifling through containers, you are basically announcing your location, and suddenly you are an easy target. This is where the Silent Scavenger skill becomes a lifesaver. It makes your looting quieter, which might seem minor, but it can make a huge difference in a tense encounter. If an enemy does not hear you, the chances of them discovering your position drop significantly. You can take your time, loot efficiently, and stay under the radar while others are running around unaware. In terms of which skills to level first, Silent Scavenger is definitely worth considering. It does not increase your combat power directly, but it gives you a stealthy advantage that can turn the tables on an unsuspecting raider. By keeping your presence hidden while you loot, you might just get the drop on them instead, and in Arc Raiders, that advantage can be the difference between walking away with epic loot or wiping entirely. Stealth is going to be more than just a tactic in Arc Raiders, it is often a necessity. And let's be clear, stealth does not mean you avoid every fight or play super passive. Sometimes it is about positioning yourself smartly so you can engage on your own terms and get the drop on an enemy. Being in the right spot at the right time can make a huge difference in any encounter. A big part of staying stealthy, this is crouching while you move. Crouching makes your movement quieter, which is great for sneaking around, but there is a catch. It slows you down quite a lot. That can leave you vulnerable if you need to reposition quickly or retreat from a bad situation. This is exactly where the Agile Croucher skill comes in. It reduces the movement penalty when crouching, allowing you to stay quiet without sacrificing mobility. If you are prioritizing which skills to level first, Agile Croucher is definitely one to consider. It does not make you more lethal directly, but it gives you better control over stealth engagements. You can maneuver around the map more efficiently, approach fights on your own terms, and avoid being an easy target while staying under the radar. It is one of those skills that subtly but consistently improves your performance throughout the game. In Arc Raiders, most of the time stamina is not something you really think about. You can run around, loot, and maneuver without much concern, but there will be moments when stamina suddenly becomes the most valuable resource you have, right after your health. Running out at the wrong moment can leave you exposed, slow, and vulnerable, and that is when a skill like Marathon Runner really shines. Marathon Runner reduces the amount of stamina you use while moving, which might sound small at first, but it can have a big impact during critical moments. Whether you need to sprint into a fight, escape from a bad situation, or reposition quickly, having extra stamina gives you options. You are less likely to get caught in a sticky spot just because you ran out of stamina at the wrong time. If you are deciding which skills to level first in Arc Raiders, Marathon Runner is a smart choice. It does not increase your damage or directly make you stronger, but it gives you the endurance to stay active and reactive throughout a round. That flexibility can be the difference between surviving an ambush and losing all of your hard-earned loot. Youthful Lungs builds perfectly on the last skill we talked about, Marathon Runner. If using less stamina while moving is great, having more stamina to start with is even better. This skill increases your total stamina pool, which gives you more energy to sprint, crouch, climb, and perform all those critical actions without worrying about running out at the worst possible moment. The real power comes when you combine Youthful Lungs with Marathon Runner. Suddenly, not only are you using less stamina for each action, but you also have more stamina to begin with. That combination lets you stay active and mobile far longer than other raiders, giving you the ability to engage, retreat, or maneuver in ways that most players simply cannot match. If you are deciding which skills to prioritize early in Arc Raiders, Youthful Lungs is an obvious pick once you have Marathon Runner. Together, these skills give you a huge edge in mobility and stamina management, letting you outlast opponents, control fights, and navigate the map more effectively. In short, they make you way more versatile and tough to pin down. In Arc Raiders, not all containers are easy to open. Some require breaching, which is not only loud but can attract unwanted attention from nearby raiders. You might be focusing on getting high-value loot, only to realize that your breaching noise has drawn someone right to your location. That is where Gentle Pressure comes in. Gentle Pressure makes the breaching process noticeably quieter. It does not magically turn it into a silent operation, but it does reduce the noise enough that enemies need to be much closer to actually hear it. Instead of alerting anyone within what feels like a 50-meter radius, you now have a little more control over your exposure, which can be crucial in tense situations. If you are looking at which skills to level first in Arc Raiders, Gentle Pressure is a solid choice for any player who wants to loot efficiently without constantly drawing attention. It does not make you invisible, but it gives you the breathing room to breach and grab valuable items without immediately putting yourself on the radar. A small edge like this can make a big difference over the course of a round. While the noise from breaching containers is usually the main concern in Arc Raiders, the time it takes to actually open them can be just as important. This is especially true for items like Arc Probes, which often sit out in the open where you are vulnerable to enemy fire. Every second you spend prying something open is a second you are exposed. That is where the Proficient Prior skill comes in. It lets you breach containers faster, meaning less time standing still in the open and more time moving to safety. This is not about stealth as much as it is about efficiency and survivability. Being able to quickly open an Arc Probe or other high-value container can be the difference between looting successfully and getting caught in a dangerous situation. If you are deciding which skills to level first in Arc Raiders, Proficient Prior is a strong choice, especially if you find yourself often dealing with containers in exposed areas. Faster breaching keeps you safer, lets you maintain momentum during a run, and ensures that your focus stays on the action rather than the clock. Small time savings add up, and in a game like this, that can be huge. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.